Call the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of July 21st, 2021 to order, 7 p.m. Planning and Zoning Commission is an independent advisory body of the City of Ames City Council. The Planning and Zoning Commission are voluntary members of the community and not part of the city administration. The commission is responsible for the preparation and adoption of this official comprehensive plan of the city and gives advice and recommendations on matters involving amendments to the zoning ordinance and historic preservation ordinance and guidelines, subdivisions, annexations, master plans, and major site development plans, and developments within the Ames urban fringe areas. As an advisory commission, we welcome all comments and questions. We make our recommendations based on code, the facts presented, and input from the public. If the proceedings become lengthy, we may ask that comments be focused on new information and not previously presented. You may speak only once on an agenda item. If you wish to speak, please fill out a speaker information card and present it to the recording secretary. We ask that you come to the microphone to speak so that all comments can be recorded. Please state your name and address for the record and prior to making any comments. If you wish, the order of the proceedings for each item on the agenda will be as follows. City staff will present the staff report regarding the agenda items. Commission members will have an opportunity to ask questions of staff. The applicant will be invited to make a statement regarding the request. Commission members will have an opportunity to ask questions of the applicant. Members of the audience will be invited to come forward to offer comments and questions. Once the public comment is closed, the city staff and applicant will have an opportunity for concluding remarks. The commission will discuss the application based on all presentations and any comments given and come to a recommendation for the city council. The discussion may include further questions of city staff and the applicant for clarifications. With that, we move to the first item of the agenda. Introduction of the commission members.
Hi, I'm Kayana Top.
Mike Clayton.
John Emery.
Ruth Holstrom.
Jen's Dancer.
Okay. Item number 3, approval of the agenda.
I'd move approval of the agenda as it's outlined.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Those against say nay. So approved. Item number 4, approval of the minutes of June 2nd, 2021.
Move approval.
I second.
Okay, moved and approved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Approved. Public forum. This is for an opportunity to speak before the commission on something that is not on the agenda. Do we have anybody that wishes to make any comments? Seeing none. Move on to item number 6, rezone for 525 6th Street.
Yes, and the city is the applicant for this project. So tonight we're before you asking for a rezoning from RM, which is medium density residential, for 3 lots that have been recently consolidated into one parcel located just across the street from City Hall and is shown on the location map. It's about 2/3 of an acre. The city has owned this property for over 5 years, and the purpose of its ownership has recently changed. Originally, it was bought to construct medium density affordable housing. We were unable to execute that plan. The feasibility just didn't work out the way we had expected. So as an alternative, we have the city council's directed staff to go through the sale process of the property, and then we intend to use the funds from the sale to then be used for affordable housing in another location in the site. So it's not a loss of an affordable housing opportunity, but it is a different plan than the original purpose. Subsequent to decisions about disposing of the property, city council decided this year that they would prefer to acquire the site, even though we're already owner. We're the owner using federal funds, so we can't just switch the use. We still have to sell it to the city buy it with local funds, and then return the federal funds to be used for affordable housing. So the city council intends to develop this with a parking lot. To do that, we're asking to go to our special purpose zoning district of government airport zoning, which basically signifies that it's for a government purpose, and in this case, it'd be for a parking lot. So we're asking for approval of the rezoning to SGA.
So we're losing the money for the affordable housing then?
No, it's being recycled basically back into this 321 State Avenue project.
So Kelly, it says in the applicant's statement that essentially upon review of downtown parking needs and the loss of parking lot in, do you know what specific review they did in terms of the downtown parking needs?
So the main reason to motivate us to do the parking lot there is the plan for in front of City Hall to the east here is to redevelop that entire parking lot, which is a public parking lot, for a downtown plaza. So that loss of roughly 80 some spaces was really the only negative comment that we got during the plaza concept review in January was where is parking going to be available for the public and also for long-term parking. There's a number of reserved rented spaces out front. So that was, so this is one solution to add parking to the downtown area. May or may not be public parking. We may adjust other parking to add public supply, but the decision will be made through our operations divisions in consultation with other city staff about who will really park on this property versus park behind City Hall.
Okay.
So tonight, I can't tell you how that's going to work. I just know it's a parking lot one way or the other.
I was just curious, since they did that downtown parking study in 2019 and it included lot in.
Yes.
I didn't know if they took that into consideration in terms of the overall downtown parking, since that study essentially stated that, you know, even during peak usage, it was only about 50% full in the downtown area. And even that lot wasn't heavily used.
It wasn't heavily used at that time for those purposes, but the feedback at that time was where is the makeup of long-term parking if you do this? We aren't looking to add more long-term parking into the CBD lot, which is the main lot near the railroad. We want that to stay in the mix that we have now of reserve parking and a mix of 4-hour or longer term parking, but not more specifically reserved spots. So,
Okay.
I mean, like I said, it will also possibly be used for city purposes as well. We run the police department. We have inspection staff. We have a lot of staff vehicles. I mean, we use the whole parking lot except for a few public spaces in the back parking lot now. So it's also possibly an asset for future needs of the city as we grow in size and we need more availability for services as well.
Okay, so they're looking specifically at potentially the needs for staff and then visitors to
So
this.
the idea is that it can definitely meet adding supply for right here and now for downtown parking of general purpose. It also is a long-term asset for the city. City Hall is not moving. The idea that we would have services not in this building, that's not on anybody's radar. So it is a long-term asset to support City Hall as well.
Okay.
So it's not going to be a net increase in parking places.
No, it'll be a slight loss overall. So the parking that's built here will be in the low 60s for the number of spaces once we apply all the landscaping and other codes that'll apply to it. And then with the plaza, when it redevelops, we'll actually be changing Clark Avenue and adding angled parking in that area as well. So it's only when you combine the Clark Avenue, kind of your front door parking with this parking lot, do you approach the loss of spaces from redeveloping lot N. So there's a small net loss, but it's a pretty close to a balance between the two projects.
And you don't see an increase need for parking then.
So the way what Ruth is referencing is the 2019 downtown parking study. And what it identified was that with the current mix of uses and current intensity of development, there's more than adequate parking between the parking lots and the surface parking on streets. It's only if there was intensification of use and additional need for really for like office users, people that need to have long-term predictable 8-hour, 10-hour parking, would we start to reevaluate how we may reprogram downtown or add other supply. And the talk in the past has been to consider if we need a parking deck, it's not to create more surface lots. A parking deck wouldn't efficiently fit here, so that wouldn't work. So this will be a surface lot no matter what.
So was there any concern then with lot N, because in the parking study, it identified lot N as a possible like parking deck essentially?
So council's decided they prefer a plaza over a parking structure.
That's fair. I'm not opposed. But I
At
was
that
just
point, I mean, that was
curious
on the
their
table as a discussion.
Okay.
But if you follow the chain of events, the decision was we're doing a plaza. Where can we replace parking? Not do we need parking here? So it was a different sequence of evaluations.
So a deck would go up out back?
No, I didn't say that. I said we'd evaluate where we would need a deck. I would say the more likely location would be in the CBD lot over behind City Hall. There's just greater demand in the CBD lot, so it'd be the more likely location to add a deck. But that's not in a program right now either.
Do you
We
foresee
just
the-
rebuilt the lot M lot 4 years ago, so the idea that we would build a deck over that's probably pretty limited at this point.
Since this lot's located directly north of the west entrance to the city hall, do you foresee the need of for an RRFB or something like that for a crossing signal?
I we haven't gone through final design yet, and so it's going to depend on its final usage. We can meet access and circulation requirements with the way the sidewalks work and with the signal systems at Clark. Now, whether we want or need something else in the long term, I don't know tonight.
I can just see people crossing the street and not going all the way down to Clark.
Depends on the user,
Yeah.
and where your destination is.
So Kelly, you said there was a lot of long-term parking in Lot N. Was that primarily by like businesses in the downtown, their employees essentially?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
some downtown business rent some spaces. Yes.
Jens, any questions?
I got all my questions kind of answered through others. I thought it was well explained. It sounds like it's a net even or thereabouts, so I think it fits well, especially with the plaza. I think that's much better. So I like the reallocation of funds as well.
I was
And
gonna
no
say,
questions?
no questions.
Any other commission comments? Anything from the public? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Uh,
Oh, sorry.
Alternative.
Yes. Excuse me. A motion to approve the alternative for the Planning and Zoning Commission to recommend that the City Council approve the request to rezone 0.63 acres of the property at 525 6th Street from RM Residential Medium Density to S-GA Special Purpose Government Airport District.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All those that disapprove, say nay. No nays, so approved.
All right. So this item will go back to City Council for the public hearing on the rezoning in August.
Okay. Any commission comments today, Jens?
I guess the plaza sounds pretty exciting. Is there been a date or any when is that constructed? Is that
So
in design right now?
So it follows in with the whole reinvestment district discussion. So on Tuesday night, we expect to get some direction from City Council and possibly execute a design contract for its design. If that happens, the goal was to start construction next year. So the sequence would be that this parking lot would be constructed before demolition of that parking lot. So you would see this get built late spring, and then we could start construction on the
So it'd
plaza,
be
and
a
that's all.
pretty fast construction for this one, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward project once we get it going. So that all assumes that everything falls into place with
Sure.
the design contract and construction costs and all of those details.
Mhm. I don't have anything.
Nope.
Okay. Is things moving forward on between Kellogg and Clark? I see another building got tore down.
I don't have a plan or anything to discuss. So
Okay.
it's still the same assemblage of property by the private property owner with intent to redevelop. Yes.
Okay. Staff comments?
I have none.
None? Okay, at this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are now adjourned.
All right.
Very good.